Hello everyone, welcome to yet another episode in our Pitch Perfection series. Hope you enjoyed the first one and benefited from it, where we tried to sustain sa for as long as possible. If you haven't watched that video, I will have a link down below somewhere in the description. Please go back and check that video and try it out a few times and then come back to this video. And today, the exercise that we're going to do is not very different from the first one. Instead of just sustaining sa, we will try to sustain on the three main anchors, which are sa, pa, and the higher sa. Now, one thing to note here is because we will try and sustain on the higher octave sa, it is not ideal to do this the first thing in the morning when your voice is not warmed up. You may injure your voice or hurt your voice, so it's not ideal. Please don't do that. But if that's the only time you have and you want to try it out as a modification, you can try sustaining on sa, pa, and then come back to the lower sa whenever I'm singing the higher sa. In this session, the goal here is to align ourselves to the pitch as much as possible and stay there for as long as possible. But before we begin, there are a few things to keep in mind. Make sure you're wearing a comfortable and loose outfit. You sit in a firm and comfortable surface in a cross-legged posture with spine comfortably erect. You can sit on a firm cushion or a yoga mat if you have it handy, or simply sit on the floor or carpet. Have a tanpura playing in the background. It's best to do this exercise in a reasonably empty stomach. Have room temperature or lukewarm water for sipping in between. Please turn your phone into silent mode and do not disturb mode, and make sure there is nothing in the way that might cause any disruption during the entire session. Let's begin our practice. You will hear me singing sa for a certain duration. Please listen and do not start singing yet. You will get a cue to repeat and you can start singing then. As much as possible, try singing for the same duration that you heard me sing. We will do this for 10 minutes. After that, I will go over some common mistakes that may happen if you are a beginner and some important things to keep in mind while you practice. We will then repeat this exercise again for another 10 minutes, incorporating these changes if applicable to you. Please close your eyes. sa. Let's address some common mistakes. Keep your spine comfortably erect throughout the practice. There may be a tendency to slouch over a period of time. When that happens, make sure to come back to the erect posture immediately. You might have a tendency to stretch your back too much. No need to do that. Simply stretch it enough to stay there comfortably for at least the duration of your practice. When you utter sa, there may be a tendency to start singing right away and run out of breath in a few seconds. Make sure to inhale deeply before uttering sa and exhale gradually and slowly with the swara. This improves over time as you do this exercise regularly for a few weeks. You can also do a simple breath work before starting your music practice routine to enhance your singing. This could involve pranayama, anulom vilom, or simply deep inhalation followed by holding the breath for a few seconds, followed by slow and gradual exhalation over a period of few seconds. While singing, you might start with the right pitch, but over time, your voice might droop lower. That's just because of low stamina in the vocal cords. Just be conscious when that happens and course correct by keeping your ears in the lookout so you're constantly matching your singing with the tune that's played by the Shruti or the guiding voice. When you sustain sa for a long period of time, there may be a tendency for your voice to produce small spikes along the way. When that happens, you can sip some water, breathe deep, and course correct to make sure your voice sounds as smooth as possible for as long as possible. This can only be perfected over time with regular practice, so don't worry if you're not seeing the results right away. Now, with those corrections, let's repeat this exercise for a few more minutes. sa pa sa pa sa